Hello, and welcome back to another Tuesday night light on a Wednesday because life happens. Honestly, y'all, for some reason, just like the past week, I've just been feeling super afflicted and in my head and hearing lies from the enemy that I know are not true, but just keeps on spitting them. So just needed yesterday to kind of recalibrate and continually recalibrating. Y'all, I want to encourage you that, the more we pursue God, the more the enemy wants us not to. So we are always going to be in that battle because we battle not against flesh and blood, but of principalities and evil and spiritual warfare and all this stuff is going on. But if we resist the devil, he will flee. So continue to get in God's word and resist him by speaking the truth over your life and into your life. And on that note, we're going to talk about when Jesus called the disciples. Several months ago, Lindy and I were lucky enough to go to Israel. And my favorite spot while we were there was beside the Sea of Galilee. We got to be there for a couple sunrises, and it was just so special. And I got to thinking about when Jesus called the disciples. So in Matthew 4, verses 18 through 20, we have one of the accounts of him calling them. And it says this: As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. At once they left their nets and followed him. Man, what faith to just leave behind. I'm sure, fishing is what made them men, right? It's how they provided for their families. And all of a sudden, Jesus is just like, leave your nets and follow me. And they do. And I got to thinking, man, I don't fish casting out nets, and that's not my livelihood, but what does it look like for me to leave the nets immediately, at once, and follow Jesus? And I got to thinking about what I find my identity in, whether that's music, or in the past it has been just so many different things, sports, relationships, all that stuff, to leave that behind. So not only the nets where, I'm casting out, but the nets that are getting cast on me, sins, entanglements, anxiety, depression, all that stuff. Leave it behind and follow Jesus. And so I wrote a song called Leave the Nets because it's just so important to do that and to follow him wherever he's calling you. And, he might call you to continue to fish, but it's a heart posture. When we pursue him first and give glory to him in all we do, that's when we are in step with what he's calling us to do. I'm casting with my hands from the vessel of my heart out into the shallows where the world says the fish are. But I'm coming up so empty that I'm calling it a day. 'Cause even what I'm catching isn't filling up this place. In my heart there is a longing, like I'm made for something more. And going back and forth between the water and the shore. But I'm caught up in these nets because it's all I've ever known. And if I tried to leave, I don't know if they let me go. Pride and pornography, lies and insecurity, divorce and immorality, shame and all my guilty, then you called to leave it all. I didn't get what you were saying, and I had some hesitations, but you never got frustrated. In your kindness you were patient when I tripped over my sin. Wasn't the smoothest of transitions, and I admit that I'm still slipping, but I promise I'm committed to your different kind of fishing. It's just a hard first step to leave the nets. Where you're asking me to go is beyond my zone of comfort. It's a side I've never known, but a feeling that I've wanted, free from all the weight that pulls me down into the bottom Now I'm deeper even still, but it is not my fear that brought me out into these depths where the waves get really wicked. I am walking on the water, 'cause I know that you are with me. Yeah, you called to leave it all. I didn't get what you were saying, and I had some hesitations, but you never got frustrated. In your kindness you were patient when I tripped over my sin. Wasn't the smoothest of transitions, and I admit that I'm still slipping, but I promise I'm committed to your different kind of fishing. It's just a hard first step to leave the nets. Sun rising over Galilee, I'm sitting here next to the sea, the ripples reaching at my feet. I hear you whisper, follow me. It's just a hard first step, but I take a breath. Y'all, just take a breath and follow him. I know it's hard. We can't always see. He's just a lamp to our feet. We wish he was like runway lights. And sometimes we have to walk by faith and not by sight. So trust in him. Leave behind anything that you are finding your identity in other than Jesus. Leave behind the nets and just follow him. That was the next to last song on the album. That's not the order, but the next to last song I had to show you. So I'll have one more song next week. Thank you all so much for your support. Really looking forward to putting out this album later this spring. We're recording it at the end of March, beginning of April. If you still want to support, the link is in the bio to donate. Would really appreciate it. Also, I'm selling another steer. So if y'all know anyone who would want some lawn decor or a just a nice steer, send them my way. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Tuesday Night Light out.